Alright guys, so what we need to do is when we hover over these, we need to get the values and the stats and then populate them over here. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to print out the class names of the things. So if I come back over to my inventory HTML, this is the list here that we've created that shows on the left hand side. And we're just going to, for right now, we're just going to print out the class name of whichever one we're hovering over. So let's jump over to our JavaScript file and open up a jQuery object of item-list A. We're going to say on mouse enter. The function is going to be E, and we're going to console log another object. Actually, let's capture this first. Our current item. It's going to be equal to e.currentTarget class. So now let's console log current item. Save it and refresh. And let me go over to console here. It's not working. Class name. Save this. Is it just a variable? No. Let me target this specifically. So we do have that. Oh, no, I'm doing this completely wrong. We're going to open up the attr method and get the class. There we go. That's exactly what we want to do. So, attr and then class. Save this, refresh, and we're not console logging it. Mouse enter is going to be that problem. List A on mouse, what is it? Let's just do hover for right now. Save, refresh. We're still not getting any action, which is totally strange because this is the item list A element. Let's remove this right here. Yeah, let's try this. Hover. And we're not getting any output. So that kind of makes me nervous. We're doing it document ready. Item list A. Let me copy this here. Paste it. Okay, now it's working. Refresh. Getting nothing, and then if I copy this, almost makes me think maybe our JavaScript is not loading. Let me go ahead and just try and console log loaded. Save, refresh. Yeah, okay, we're not getting anything. Let's jump over to inventory HTML and make sure that our JavaScript file is being included. Pipboy.app.js is being included after jQuery. Inventory is right here in the JS directory. So we're going to investigate and see exactly what's happening. It did load from memory cache. So, okay, so it's trying to load that from cache. of course, turn off voiceover. I'm not sure how to refresh here without cache, but if I hit Command Shift Delete, Control Shift Delete on a Mac, let's just clear out the browsing data. Browsing history, cached images and files, let's say the past day. There we go. Let's refresh this again. Are we getting anything? Yes. All right, there. For some reason that was not working. So what we can do now that we've got this working is we can attempt to find the correct weapon in weapons. So let's go ahead and do that. We're getting, for instance, this name right here. So what we're going to do, the easiest way to do it, is to loop over each weapon. So for each item in weapons, we're going to console log item. All right. And this will give us the index number of that weapon. So what we can do is we can check if weapons item, this is the current index, dot name equals current item. Then let's console log weapons item, the entire object there. Save and refresh. Now when I hover over the assault rifle, I get the correct object here. And 44, there we go. So what we're going to do is now we're going to start taking each of these values and just dropping it in there. And we're going to target for this the item stats as the container. So var container equals item-stats. That's going to be the jQuery object that we're going to be working with. Now the classes, where is this? Inventory, right here. We're going to target damage, fire rate, etc., and put the corresponding items in there. So, rather target container, find damage. It's going to be weapons, item, damage. Let's test this. Save this and refresh. And as you can see now, the damage is updating in the bottom right when we hover over different items. So we're going to do this same thing for fire rate, range, accuracy, etc. So just go ahead and type this out again. It's going to get a little bit repetitive because we're not going to copy it. Container, find accuracy, and the HTML, weapons, item, accuracy. And then we also have range, weight, and value. So container, find range, HTML. It's going to be set to weapons, item, range. Weight. HTML is going to set to weapons, the current index number, and then weight. All right. So I'm going to save this and refresh, and we should see a working interface here. And you guys can go ahead and add more items through the HTML in the list there, and you can just add them to the JavaScript objects here that represent the JavaScript, I guess it's the JavaScript representation of those items, and you can use this for any item. You can continue listing them however far you want. And you can even have images here for each one. I don't have any images for them, but the process would be the same. In each item, maybe just put an image URL, and it would just be the name of an image file. And then down here, you would target the image container and set the source. And again, the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is because the same functionality is required for every tab in the inventory. For the data, actually, it's the same thing. It shows a list with results popping up here that show you guys the the tasks in the list. Now, one more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the ability to equip an item by clicking on it. So let's go ahead and first, we need to fix something. In the item stats, or in the item list A, we need to actually add padding left 10 pixels. So we need to make the room available to, did I save this? Padding left. Did it like cache that again? No? Yeah, let's set it to 25 pixels. Didn't look like it updated there. We're going to need to make room for the indicator of the equipped item. So if you look here, there's a little square box. So we're going to create that in the active. So let's go ahead and item list A active before it's going to get content of nothing, display block, position absolute. Now, the height and width we're going to set separately. We're going to do that separately. So I'm going to save this, and we need to add the ability to click an item. So item list A on click. Add a function here. It's taking the current target. And we're going to say, we're going to remove the active class from any of them. So item dash list A, remove class active. And then on this one, we're going to add class active. So we're removing any existing class active first, then we're adding one to this. So I'm going to save it, refresh. I'm going to click that one and then go ahead and inspect it. Now this is active, so it should get the before pseudo element. So I'm going to set this to height 10 pixels, width 10 pixels, and background is going to be white for now, just so that we can see it. And we're going to have to move it. So left, it's going to be 10 pixels, say 20. And then top is going to be 5 pixels. No, margin top. That's correct. That the top needs to be a relative position because each one has a different position on the page vertically, but they all have the same left position. So the margin dash top is going to be set to 5 pixels. Set it to 7, 6. That looks about, well, 7 looks even more right. So let's go ahead and copy these rules, and then we're just going to update the color. Save. Jump over to our CSS file. and there. So when it's not hovered, the background of this is going to be like that. And then item dash list A hover before. We're going to set the background to this color. So now I'm going to save it and refresh. Now we get the ability to equip a weapon. The text decoration always needs to be nothing. So text decoration, none important. There. Save, refresh, and now we can go ahead and equip our weapons. And also when we're hovering over them, we can see the different stats and compare them. And then just, equip what we want. And you can do the same thing. What you would need to do, you need to make this a little more complex, especially for the armor, because you can have different parts of the armor. So you can have one helmet on while you're wearing, gloves and boots and an actual outfit. So you'd have to create a type and set data type equal to, the position of the armor, whether it's the head or the torso. And then what you can do is you can check if any of the existing equipped elements should also occupy the same place. And if they do, then just remove those ones. And so it would be a little more involved for that. And I'm not going to go through that with you guys. However, I would love to see if any of you decide to, expand on this and actually, what I would love to see, and it would take a while to do, would be a full Pip-Boy app. I think that'd be so cool. So if any of you guys decide to do that, let me know. Send me a message. I would like to see that. But that is all for the Pip-Boy app. We've got the stat page. We don't have any of these. And actually, the special and the perks follow the same kind of structure as this page. You hover over the list on the left, and you get an updated bit of data on the right hand side. So it does get very repetitive, and that's the main reason we're not going to do anything else with this. You also do need to update this footer on the inventory page, because on the inventory page it shows weight, capacity, and current value, as well as caps and current damage as well. So thank you guys for watching. In the next video we're going to start with a Chrome extension, so that's going to be fun.